Welcome to Bible Storytime, and thank you for joining us today as we explore one of the most brilliant displays of wisdom in the Bible. The moment King Solomon faced an impossible choice. The kingdom of Israel was at peace. The sounds of war had faded, replaced by the ringing of hammers and the scent of cedar and gold as a new temple began to rise. At the center of this golden age sat a new king, Solomon, son of David. He was young, and the weight of the crown was heavy. In a dream, God had come to him and said, "Ask for whatever you want me to give you." And Solomon, in humility, had not asked for riches, long life, or victory over his enemies. He had asked for wisdom, a discerning heart to govern God's people and to distinguish between right and wrong. God was pleased. He granted Solomon a wise and understanding heart, unlike any before or after him, and it wasn't long before that divine gift was put to the test. One day, the calm and order of the royal court was shattered. Two women, their clothes disheveled and their voices raw with grief and anger, were brought before the king. They lived in the same house, and they were prostitutes, women from the margins of society, with no powerful husbands or families to speak for them. All they had was their story and the tiny living baby one of them held. The first woman spoke, her words tumbling out in a torrent of sorrow. "My lord, this woman and I live in the same house. I had a baby while she was there with me. 3 days later, she also had a baby. Then during the night, her son died because she lay on him. So she got up in the middle of the night and took my son from my side while I was asleep. She put her dead son in my arms and took my living son." Her voice cracked. "When I got up the next morning to nurse my baby, he was dead. But when I looked at him closely, I saw that it was not the son I had born." The second woman lunged forward, her denial sharp and fierce. "No, the living one is my son, the dead one is yours." And so it began. A bitter, desperate argument in front of the throne. Back and forth they shouted, a storm of accusation and pain. There were no witnesses, no evidence, just one woman's word against another's. The court officials were silent, stumped. How could anyone possibly know the truth? But Solomon watched. He listened not just to their words, but to the spirit behind them. Then he spoke. His voice cut through the chaos. "Bring me a sword." A hush fell over the court. A sword? What for? A guard brought the weapon, its polished blade gleaming in the light. Then came the king's stunning command. "Cut the living child in two," Solomon declared, "and give half to one and half to the other." The court gasped in horror. Was this wisdom or madness? To solve the dispute by destroying the very thing they were fighting for? The second woman, the liar, nodded grimly. Her heart, twisted by jealousy and bitterness, was exposed. "Neither I nor you shall have him," she said with cold satisfaction. "Cut him in two." But the first woman, the true mother, screamed, a visceral, soul-deep cry of love. She would rather lose her son than see him harmed. "Please, my lord," she pleaded, her body shaking. "Give her the living baby. Don't kill him. Please, just don't kill him." In that moment, everything became clear. Solomon raised his hand. "Give the living child to the first woman," he commanded. "Do not kill him. She is his mother." A wave of awe washed over the courtroom. The people saw that this was not a clever trick, but a profound insight into the human heart. Solomon had created a test that could only be passed by true, selfless love. He had revealed the truth not by finding evidence, but by exposing character. The news spread throughout Israel, and the people held their king in reverence, because they knew the wisdom of God was in him to administer justice. This story shows us that God's wisdom is not just about knowing facts, it's about understanding hearts. It pierces through our arguments and our defenses to find the truth of who we are. But as wise as Solomon was, he points us to a king with even greater wisdom. Jesus, a descendant of Solomon, is called the wisdom of God. Solomon threatened to divide a child to reveal a mother's love. But God the Father actually allowed his one and only Son to be broken, pierced, and divided on the cross to reveal his own love for all humanity. The cross is the ultimate judgment, not of condemnation, but of love. It exposes the darkness of our sin, but reveals the breathtaking, self-sacrificing love of God. Where Solomon's sword brought a verdict, Jesus' cross brings our salvation. Solomon was a wise king, but Jesus is wisdom itself, our king forever. If this story moved your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We bring you true, powerful stories from the Bible that still speak to us today.